somebody tell me what the is this?
Two friends.
You know, in these past few years, the world has suddenly turned strange, like the laws of nature are being put to the test. Weird things keep popping up one after another, way beyond what science can explain. The oceans start doing strange things. The sky looks unnatural. Animals act all out of whack, and the sea seems like it's breathing hard. Every one of these events reminds us of those old prophecies about the end of the world, like history is repeating itself right in front of our eyes. Extreme weather, terrible storms, strange creatures showing up, odd signs in the sky and the oceans. All of it is shouting the same message: we're running out of time. These aren't just random coincidences. These signs are warnings straight from the Creator, telling us that mankind is facing a second great flood. Just like in Noah's day, when the world was washed clean of sin, we're looking at another cleansing now, only this time it's direct and coming fast. Every single thing we see, big or small, is a reminder. The clock is ticking, and only those who wake up in time will make it through this great judgment and reach the heaven that God has already prepared for His own. Are you ready for what's coming? Stay with me till the end of the video, because up next are 7 signs you can't ignore, each one like a bell ringing loud, hitting us right where we live and right in the soul. And I'm absolutely sure of this. This message didn't find you by accident. It came looking for you, because you're one of the ones spoken of in the prophecies. So let's not waste another minute. Right now, we're going to look together at the 7 strange things happening that show the second great flood is a whole lot closer than most folks think. 1. Water pouring out of a cliffside in a really strange way, then vanishing into thin air the second it hits the ocean. There's this coastal cliff somewhere in Asia where water suddenly starts gushing out of solid rock, falling toward the sea like a waterfall. But the moment it touches the water down below, poof, it completely evaporates. Local folks just stood there with their mouths open, phones out, filming like crazy. The videos blew up all over social media. Even the experts around there can't explain it. Every rule of physics seems turned upside down. Pretty wild to watch, isn't it? Scientists tried everything. The temperature isn't hot enough to make water evaporate that fast. There's no weird chemicals in it. Nothing works. The water almost looks like it's fighting gravity, shooting back up into the sky like it wants to go home to heaven. Nobody has a clue why, and the fact that science is stumped actually makes it kind of scary. This isn't just a weird natural thing. It feels supernatural, something the eye can see but the mind can't figure out. When you connect it to the Bible, it sure reminds you of the Great Flood. Genesis 7:11. On that day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. That disappearing water feels like a little reminder that there's still a huge amount of water hidden deep underground, just waiting for the right moment to come rushing out. It's a visual warning. A worldwide flood isn't just an old story. It could really happen again. If you look at it spiritually, water vanishing the instant it hits the sea is almost like sin being wiped away in a flash. It's a wake-up call that anyone who isn't ready spiritually could get swept away. It feels like a warning about a flood that will wash away a sinful world, and only the people who are paying attention will have a chance to stand. If you've ever watched those end-of-the-world movies, this looks exactly like a scene that jumped off the screen. Water suddenly gone, the ocean not acting normal anymore, the sky holding some terrible secret. But this isn't Hollywood. This is actually happening right now on our planet. So what's the big message here? We'd better get our hearts ready. Nature and something beyond nature are both trying to tell us something. This strange water might be the beginning of a flood that covers the whole earth. Look around, pay attention, and ask yourself, are you ready? And if you think water is the only thing sending signs, just look up at the sky. because the next one is already starting to appear. A mysterious black ring just hanging there, making everything feel like the air itself is holding its breath. 2. A huge circle of black bugs hanging in the sky. Really strange. This video was shot by a local guy living on the Oregon coast. One day, he just happened to look up and saw this perfect black ring floating in a clear blue sky. Thousands of tiny bugs were flying together in a tight circle, moving like one giant living thing, making a big dark shadow way up there. Folks around there freaked out. Phones came out, everybody started filming, and the clip blew up all over social media. The whole world pretty much held its breath, watching that swarm dance across the sky. Can you even picture how wild that must have looked in real life? Scientists tried to explain it, but these bugs weren't just flying around random. They seemed to know something awful was coming. Same way fish, birds, and animals all over the world take off before a big disaster hits. This wasn't just weird behavior. It felt like a message straight from nature, a warning nobody could miss. It took me right back to the Bible. Exodus 8:21. Swarms of flies and plagues were signs to remind the people of God's anger. That black ring over Oregon sure looked like a whirlpool or a black hole ready to swallow everything. A sign of chaos coming from the sea and the sky. Don't brush off these little creatures. They might just be messengers from the Creator himself, telling us trouble's on the way. It reminded me of those huge flocks of birds that sometimes form strange shapes in the sky, group behavior that ends up predicting disasters. Animals are sensing a second great flood coming, and if we pay attention, we'll see nature getting ready. Nothing's random anymore. The sky, the land, and the ocean are all working together to let us know something big could hit any day now. Have you started feeling nature breathing different yet? If bugs can see what's coming, are we awake enough to notice? This is a wake-up call. Look around. Really look. Because this swarm is only the beginning. And if you think that black circle was the scariest part, hang on. Next, we're going to see massive rolling clouds dropping right down to the ocean, forming what looks like cloud tsunamis. We'll watch that one together in the next sign. 3. Huge clouds rolling down right onto the ocean surface, turning into a giant cloud tsunami rushing toward the land. A group of tourists felt incredibly lucky to catch this on video. Something both awesome and downright strange. Early one morning on a Pacific beach. In their footage, you can feel the waves lapping at their feet, the cold wind blowing. And then all of a sudden, a massive wall of cloud comes tumbling out of the sky straight down to the water like a mountain of water. It wasn't just floating. It dropped onto the sea, whipped up huge waves, almost like the ocean was pouring down from above. You can feel the raw power. It makes your heart beat faster. Weather experts say this wasn't a regular tornado or any normal weather event. This was clouds touching down and moving like a flood. Something never recorded before, pretty much breaking every rule of physics we thought we knew. Doesn't it give you chills seeing the sky and the sea join forces into one giant destructive power, like nature itself is waking up? This scene takes us straight back to the Great Flood. Genesis 7:11-1-2. On that day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Those clouds crashing down into the Pacific give you a real picture of the whole world being flooded, a perfect image of the heavens opening and the water pouring out. Do you feel the warning in it? Like nature is talking to us right this minute? It's not just a symbol. It's a real reminder of nature's power, mixed with something beyond nature. Climate change might make weird events happen more often, but what you just saw goes way past science. It feels like a message from the Creator himself, a heads up that disaster can come out of nowhere. Every roll of clouds slamming toward the shore like a tsunami from the sky screams that we can't get cocky. This was a tsunami in the air, a sign of the heavens and the ocean teaming up for the cleansing that's coming. If you think you're safe, stop for a second and really look around. Nature never sends a warning twice. And just when you catch your breath from that one, get ready for what comes next. Tiny, Mysterious creatures showing up, lining up in the shape of a boat deep in the forest, sending a quiet message about rescue to anyone willing to listen. 4. Hundreds of caterpillars wriggling together to form a strange boat shape. Deep in a South American rainforest, where every sound just gets swallowed up by the quiet, a park ranger came across something really strange. Hundreds of caterpillars started curling up together and made this weird shape that looked just like a little living boat. They all moved at the same time, inching along like one single creature. Have you ever seen tiny bugs do something that wild? Scientists say this isn't random at all. The caterpillars are actually building a boat shape to survive, almost like they know a disaster is coming. Every twist and turn shows how perfectly they work together, and it makes you wonder, is some unseen force guiding them? Like they're sending us a message from somewhere we can't see? This picture really reminds us of Noah's Ark, Genesis 6:14. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, and you'll use this ark to save yourself, your family, and the animals. These little caterpillars are getting on the boat, just like a gentle reminder that only the ones who wake up and listen will be saved, the same way Noah and his family were. Doesn't it give you chills to think nature might be warning us, even through something as small as caterpillars? It's not just a symbol either. People have seen animals act like prophets lots of times. Birds flying in strange patterns, fish jumping out of rivers right before earthquakes. Every one of these signs feels like a quiet voice saying, "Time's running short. Get ready." But the biggest thing here is the message God is sending through these tiny creatures. Salvation is waiting for anyone who notices in time. The choice is yours. Step onto the ark of faith or get swept away when the flood comes. That choice isn't far off anymore. You ready for the next one? It's about strange, see-through creatures showing up from the deep ocean. Cloudy-looking things that remind us the flood isn't over yet, and the supernatural signs just keep coming right in front of our eyes. 5. Strange creature spotted deep in the ocean. It looks like a snake, but floats around like a cloud. Just when you're still getting over that weird deep forest ship thing in the rainforest, the deep ocean goes and shows us something else that'll make even seasoned divers freeze in their tracks. A video taken way down in the Indian Ocean catches this bizarre creature drifting in the pitch-black water. Super long and twisty like a snake, but hollow inside, soft and dreamy. Almost like a cloud floating through the sea. Look close, and you can see it moving ever so slightly, like it's breathing. Beautiful and creepy at the same time. At first, the experts tried to say it was just some underwater vortex full of gas. But the thing is way too neatly shaped for that explanation to hold up. Some folks think it's the remains of an unknown deep-sea animal. The more they study it, though, the more it looks less like biology and more like something supernatural. What do you think? If you ran into this thing in real life, would you swim closer? Pretty soon, people started comparing the video to old stories about ancient floods, especially the Great Flood in the Bible, when it says, "The fountains of the great deep burst forth," Genesis 7:11. All the springs of the great deep burst open, and the windows of the heavens were opened. This snake cloud thing looks exactly like a living sketch of one of those underground water spouts waking up, getting ready to flood the surface. It really feels like the ocean is trying to tell us something, like it's stirring and warning us that something big is coming. The deeper meaning hits even harder when people point out how much it looks like Leviathan, that giant sea serpent in the Bible, the one tied to the end times and judgment day. Psalm 74:14 says God crushed the heads of Leviathan. It's probably no coincidence that right now, when strange signs are popping up everywhere, the deep sea suddenly shows us something that looks just like the apocalyptic serpent. It feels like a warning that the ocean, quiet for centuries, is waking up. When you dig deeper, this lines up with a bunch of other weird stuff they've found on the ocean floor lately. Natural walls that look man-made, glowing creatures that don't follow any normal biology rules. Put it all together and you get the picture. We've only explored a tiny fraction of the deep sea, and that's where Earth keeps its oldest secrets. If a disaster ever starts somewhere, it'll probably start in the darkest place we know, the bottom of the ocean. The message is pretty clear by now. These signs from the deep are reminding us that if another flood ever comes, the water won't just fall from the sky. It'll burst up from under the ground and from the heart of the sea. We're standing right on the edge between fake calm and a truth that's getting closer every day. Then, just as that snake cloud thing fades away into the darkness, something else happens up in the sky that makes the whole world look up and wonder if that was the next warning straight from heaven. 6. The sky split clean in two. One half a golden-orange sunset, the other a dark, gloomy blue like the deep ocean. The sixth sign showed up like something so beautiful, it took your breath away, yet scary enough to give you chills. The sky literally torn right down the middle. One side burned red-orange like a sunset, singing its last song. The other side cold and deep blue like the bottom of the sea. This was caught on camera one afternoon up near Scandinavia, and if you'd seen it with your own eyes, you'd probably have frozen just like I did at first. Nature doesn't draw a line that sharp for no reason, unless something wants to be noticed. Weather folks call it a convection edge, but that perfect split went way beyond any normal science explanation. It wasn't just light playing tricks. It felt like a supernatural reminder that some invisible dividing line is getting closer. Did you feel it too? It was almost like the sky was saying, time to pick a side. That warm orange didn't just mean peace. It stood for souls being lifted up. The cold, dark blue felt like the stare of the deep, ready to swallow anyone still on the fence. In the Bible, Matthew 25-32 says, "All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them, one from another, just as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats." When the sky split like that, it was like a living picture of those words, not in writing, but in light and shadow. Once again, Scripture showed up right there in the heavens. This isn't just church talk anymore. It's so clear that even the biggest skeptics pause before brushing it off. Look a little deeper, and this thing forces us to face the question we've always tried to dodge. Which side are you on when the sky stops blending and picks for itself? For centuries, old writings talked about split skies as warnings of huge shifts in right and wrong, in where we're headed. Today, with one strange thing after another popping up, this one feels more like a wake-up call than ever. Then, watching that dark blue side slowly creep wider, it hit me. Nature isn't trying to scare us, it's trying to wake us up. The sky used to be one big painting. Now it's a mirror, showing every person's choice. Do you want the warmth or the cold? Do you want to rise or sink? However you hear those questions, whether I say them or you feel them yourself, they all point to the same thing. We're being warned, plain as day. That's why this sky sign can't be ignored. It doesn't just open a new chapter in all these wonders. It's the clearest invitation yet. Step into the light before that line closes for good. Because even before the sky had a chance to go back to normal, another sign, stronger, harder to believe, was already getting ready to appear in the last place anyone would think to look. Are you truly ready for what's coming next? 7. A strange pillar of light, shining down from the clouds to the earth. The seventh sign showed up so quietly that if you just glanced at it, you'd probably think it was nothing more than late afternoon sunshine. But when the weather folks sped up the video, everybody just froze. Out of an ordinary gray cloud, a slit of light suddenly opened, and a soft golden beam shot straight down to the ground, like an arrow from heaven. This thing was caught on camera in a bunch of places all at the same time: Canada, Japan, even North Africa, and folks who saw it all felt the same way. That wasn't regular sunlight. It had this gentle feel, but also a kind of quiet power that made you want to look up and keep looking a little longer. Some tried to explain it away as just a light pillar. You know, those columns you get when ice crystals catch the light. But if you watch close, that beam wasn't standing still. It was breathing, getting wider, then narrower, like it had its own heartbeat, something that doesn't belong in the sky at all. And tell me, did you feel it too? That little tug, like someone up there was whispering your name, so soft you could almost miss it, but impossible to mistake. This wasn't some stray sunbeam. It felt like a sign sent right on time, right when it was needed, like a wake-up call for anybody still hitting the snooze button. In the Bible, Exodus 13:21 says the Lord went ahead of his people by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light. When that soft golden pillar came down through the clouds, it was like that old story stepped right into 2024 or 2025, whenever you saw it. A gentle reminder that he's still out in front, still lighting the path, still calling folks who are ready to come home. It doesn't feel forced. It feels as natural as taking your next breath, especially after all the other wild things we've seen piling up in the sky, like chapters in a book. Strange lights in the sky aren't brand new, of course, but most of them stay neatly inside what science can explain. This one sat right on that blurry, beautiful line, half miracle, half warning, half gift, for anyone willing to really look. And that's what sticks with you. It didn't scare anybody. It just invited. Quiet, but clear. Soft, but unmistakable. Here's the other thing. This light showed up right when the world's dealing with one disaster after another. Wild weather, oceans acting up, the sky throwing tantrums. In the middle of all that mess, that gentle beam felt like a rope let down from above, not to yank everybody up whether they like it or not, but waiting there for anyone who chooses to grab hold. It's hope, but the kind you have to reach for. So this seventh sign doesn't close the story with fear. It closes it with a way out. After all the shaking, the splitting, the warnings, here comes this tender light, like one last invitation. Have you ever run into anything strange like this out in real life? Drop your story in the comments so the rest of us old folks can read it too. Looking back at the 7 strange things that happened one after another this year, we're not just seeing random events anymore. It feels like a chain of signs put together with scary precision. Each one is like a gentle but urgent knock on the door, forcing us to face something mankind has tried to avoid for thousands of years. An old cycle of judgment coming back around. And if you pay close attention, every single one touches something deep in the Bible, like someone's trying to tell us, time's running out. The first sign, that weird streak of light ripping across the sky over Texas, wasn't just some mystery flash. It felt like the opening announcement, like an invisible trumpet saying the gates of heaven aren't sealed shut the way we thought. When the sky lit up like it was about to split open, wasn't that a little like the first trumpet the prophets talked about? Science can call it a meteor or plasma or whatever, but that uneasy feeling still sticks to you like a shadow you can't shake. Then came the ground breathing in Fresno, something so creepy that even watching the video gives you chills. The earth cracked and rose and fell like some huge thing was turning over underneath. The Bible says over and over that the earth will shake. And right then, those words stopped feeling like symbols and started looking like real life. If the dry ground can come alive like that, just imagine what the oceans, already a million times wilder, are getting ready to do. The third sign was those moaning, groaning sounds coming from the sky and the sea up in Alaska. Honestly, more powerful than any sermon. Deep, eerie noises that sounded like they came from inside the earth or maybe from the other side. Plenty of folks heard it and thought, something's calling us. Like a long, low warning that makes you look up and wonder, what's heaven trying to say? Number 4, schools of fish popping up out of the bone-dry sand in Nevada. Sounds crazy, but the video is real. Fish coming up in the desert? That's straight out of Genesis, coming to life. When water shows up where there shouldn't be any, it's always a sign something big is shifting. And when sea creatures appear on dry land, it's a reminder of the great upside-down world the flood brought. The 5th one was that snake-shaped cloud creature moving under the deep water in the Indian Ocean. In the Bible, Leviathan, the sea serpent, is tied to the chaos right before judgment. The way that thing twisted and curled like a living ribbon, hollow but still shaped like something waiting to wake up, It took your breath away. And if you look close, the deep ocean has never really been quiet. It's just holding its breath before the first roar. Sixth, the sky over Europe got torn clean in half. One side warm gold like paradise, the other cold dark blue like the pit. Anybody who saw it just stood there frozen. The sky has never shown two feelings so clearly. It felt like a preview of Judgment Day, when people get divided. Light on one side, darkness on the other. You felt it too, didn't you? Like you're being asked to pick a side even though nobody said a word. And the seventh, the pale golden pillar of light coming straight down from the clouds to the earth. This wasn't regular sunshine. This light had weight. It pressed on you. It touched something inside. Just like the Bible talks about the pillar of fire that led Israel through the dark night, this felt like one last hand reaching down, inviting whoever still wants to come home before the door shuts for good. You have to admit, that wasn't light for looking at. It was light for waking up. 7 events, 7 reminders. Put them together and they're not just odd stories anymore. They're a prophecy filling itself in. The next great flood won't just be water pouring from the sky. It'll rise from the ground and the sea. The Bible described this cycle plenty of times. When people walk away from faith, when chaos feels normal, when the signs come fast and thick, that's when the cleansing comes. And maybe, just maybe, we're standing right on that line. Humanity is going to split in two, not by money or power or smarts, just the simplest and hardest thing there is, faith. The ones who wake up, who see what these signs really mean, will find the way out. The ones who write it all off as weird weather, coincidence, internet rumors, they'll get swept away by the same denial they chose. So here's the only question that matters. Which side are you on right now? If something inside you is stirring even a little, don't brush it off. Sometimes listening to that quiet nudge is enough to change everything. Time's getting short, and you already know it. Not because I'm saying it. Those signs already said it loud and clear. Can you feel it? All those signs and images we just saw aren't some made-up story. They're real, living warnings that a second great flood is coming soon. It's not just an old legend or something you read in a book anymore. It's happening right in front of us, one strange thing after another, like drumbeats trying to wake up anyone who still cares. Think about what we've seen. A weird streak of light ripping across the sky, the ground shaking like it's alive, schools of fish showing up in the desert, snake-like clouds way down in the deep ocean. The sky split between light and dark, a pale golden beam shining straight down from the clouds. Every single one is a warning, a reminder that we don't have much time left to fool around. Can you feel that pressure? It's like a quiet but urgent voice telling us to do something now. Humanity has a choice. Wake up or keep chasing things that don't matter. The Bible says over and over that when the time comes, God will separate good from evil and open a way to safety for anyone who turns back to Him and prays. If anyone wants to follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. Luke 9:23. That's not just a nice saying. It's a life or death instruction for right now. So what do we do today? Repent, pray, and get our hearts ready. No more putting it off. Look around. The signs keep coming, whether we're ready or not. Once you see the truth, let faith be your boat and head toward the light God is sending down. Don't wait until everything falls apart. Don't wait until the water's at your door. Start preparing your heart and spirit today so you're not swept away. When you look at those pictures, does something stir inside you? Maybe it was the streak in the sky or that pale golden beam coming down. Something that made you stop and wonder where you really stand in this crazy world. That feeling is why we all have to act, choose, and stay awake. Don't ever think you're too small to make a difference. One awake soul can change everything. Picture it again. The oceans are waking up. The sky is dividing good from evil. The earth is shaking to tell us what's coming. Do you see it? This is the moment when the people who wake up will be saved, and everyone else will be carried off by a flood they can't stop. If you're still on the fence, Let that golden light shine into your heart and remind you it's never too late to turn around. Let's do this together. Just stop for a second, say a prayer, or at least take a quiet moment to think about what you just saw. Open your heart to waking up, to the light that guides you, to the hope that God's door is still open for anyone who comes back. Feel free to leave a prayer in the comments. Tell us which sign hit you the hardest, or just share the moment that made you ask, where am I really at in my life? And if you want to help spread the word, please like, share, and subscribe so more folks can see these signs that are impossible to ignore. Share your wake-up moment. It might be the light that guides someone who's still asleep in all the noise. Every little thing you do today is another plank in the boat that will ride out the coming flood. But never forget, there's always hope. God's door is wide open for anyone who turns back, for any soul that still wants the light. It doesn't matter what you've done or how far you've wandered. That light is still shining to say the choice is yours. The moment you realize it, wake up and pray. That's when the door to safety starts to open. I truly believe that one brave step, one awake heart, can change it all. Let this be the strong reminder. The second great flood isn't a fairy tale. It's real, and it's almost here. Every sign you just watched is an alarm bell, a last wake-up call. Act now. Don't wait. Repent. Pray. Get ready. And choose the path back to the light. Only the ones who wake up will find shelter, will step onto the boat while the floodwaters rise. And finally, drop your thoughts below. Which sign hit you the hardest so we can wake up together? Remember to like, share, and subscribe, because every small action today helps spread the light and wake up souls that are still sleeping. Are you ready? Have you ever noticed that our lives are always being quietly watched over? Have you ever felt like the only reason you're still here today is because some higher power has been protecting you from the shadows? You know what? I truly believe in guardian angels, those holy beings that God sends down to shield us when danger is at its worst. They're not just stories from the Bible. They could be right here with us, invisible, or sometimes even showing up in a form we can see, ready to step in the moment disaster strikes. In today's world, with cameras everywhere, people have accidentally captured real proof that they're out there. The videos we're about to watch aren't made up or fake. They're actual moments caught on camera that make you stop and think about God and His army of angels standing by. Come watch these with me all the way to the end, and you'll see we're never really alone. And believing in miracles can completely change how you look at life. A lot of folks say they've seen angels with their own eyes in real life, but hardly anyone believes them. How about you? Have you ever seen one for real? Drop a comment below and let me and everyone else know. And no more waiting, let's jump right in and look at 7 videos where cameras caught angels out in the real world. Some of these moments are going to touch your heart big time. 1. Angel saves person from traffic accident. This video comes from a traffic camera at a busy intersection in Los Angeles, USA, late at night on June 15, 2015. If you've seen it before, you know why it gave millions of people goosebumps. If this is your first time hearing about it, get ready, because what happens in those 3 short seconds might make you wonder, are we really only surrounded by ordinary people? Around 10 p.m., cars were still flying through like streaks of light. A young woman steps into the street, and the first car stops just in time. Everything looks fine. But that moment of safety sets up a tragedy only a split second away. The second car comes racing in, completely hidden behind the first one. The street's loud, lights are flashing, and nobody sees the crash coming like a death sentence. Then, out of nowhere, a dark figure shoots out from the sidewalk. So fast the camera only catches a blur. That figure pushes the girl clear across to the other side in exactly 1 second. 1 second. Enough for a person to live or die. She falls down, shaking, trying to catch her breath. The second car slams on the brakes, tires smoking. The driver stunned, no idea what just happened. And the mystery person, without a word, without looking back, runs off into the dark. The FBI got involved and studied every single frame. No editing, no tricks, just one movement too fast for science to explain. Some experts called it an optical illusion. A few said it was just a quick passerby, but that speed? Nobody wants to say for sure. Nobody wants to touch the real answer. That moment reminds people of Psalm 91 to 11:1 too. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. A promise of divine help. A picture that looks exactly like this girl being snatched away from death. And the speed? It's just like Ezekiel 1:14. The living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. A movement faster than any human. Exactly like that dark streak in the video. If it wasn't an angel, then what was it? If it was just a normal person, why did they disappear like they were never there? That question still hangs in the air today. A quiet but chilling reminder that some moments in life won't bow to reason. And when you think the story ends there, it's only getting started. Because right after that, on the other side of the ocean, the sky over Rome caught something even harder to believe. Now let's move to an older video from Europe, where an angel appeared in the sky over Rome. 2. An angel flying over the sky of Rome. This video is pretty old. It was shot by an American family vacationing in Rome. They were visiting Peter's Basilica on December 20th, 1998, on a winter morning when the sky was just solid white, like a big blank sheet of paper. No sun, not really cloudy either, just this even, cold light covering the whole huge square and making your face sting in the wind. The family had on heavy coats and scarves, and they turned on their camcorder to catch a nice, quiet moment together in wintertime Rome. Everything felt normal, until something weird showed up in the shot. At first, they thought it was a bird, a little black dot moving across that perfect white sky. But no, it wasn't flapping, it wasn't circling, it didn't drop or move like any bird they'd ever seen. When they zoomed in later, the shape was unbelievably clear. A tall, human-like figure, wearing a wide, flowing robe, flying straight and steady like the sky was its own private road. The whole family just froze in the cold. Nobody said a word, because whatever it was didn't move like a plane, didn't move like a drone, didn't move like anything they knew. It hovered for a second, drifted gently to the left, then rose higher, like it was looking down at everything, calm and majestic and powerful, standing out against that white winter sky. Other tourists started pointing up too. Some pulled out their own cameras. Some just stood there with their mouths open. But the thing didn't zip away like a shadow. It stayed long enough that everybody down there put a hand to their chest, trying to calm their heart, feeling like they were staring at something that didn't belong in this world. Then, it slowly flew back into the white clouds behind the dome of St. Peter's and was gone. When the video started going around, experts offered a few ideas. Maybe a big eagle, maybe an early test drone. But honestly, does that height, that movement, that shape really look like what they're guessing? A bunch of video analysts who studied it say there's no sign of editing. And science? It just takes a step back and stays quiet, because there's no safe explanation to give. This moment makes people think of Hebrews 1:14. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? An angel, a messenger, showing up quietly to remind us the sky isn't as empty as we think. And sometimes, God lets us see just enough to wake our hearts up again. It also brings to mind 2 Kings 6:17. Elisha prayed, "Lord, open his eyes so he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked, and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. A supernatural sight that only those who are allowed get to see. Maybe Rome in 98 had one of those moments. And just when you think that's the end of the story, nope. The strange events kept coming. Right after that, down in Mexico, another video surfaced showing an angel along with the sound of trumpets that shook the whole internet. Let's move. 3. Angels landing on a rooftop in Mexico. This moment will take you to a hot afternoon in Mexico City on August 10th, 2018. A local lady was hanging laundry on her rooftop when she happened to point her phone toward the neighbor's terrace, just catching some ordinary summer day stuff. But ordinary turned extraordinary real quick. Up there on the roof, a little child and a woman with big, pure white wings floated down like they were landing from the sky. They weren't wearing any clothes, but nothing felt crude about it. Instead, it looked peaceful and holy. The child was holding a little trumpet, just like the cherubs you see in old paintings and Bible pictures. When the trumpet sounded, the sweetest music filled the air, like the whole rooftop was wrapped in heaven's own song. The woman stood beside him, calmly looking around. The second she realized someone was filming, the child waved a warning. The woman took off running, and in a blink, they both flew out of sight, leaving everybody stunned and full of questions. Experts from the National University of Mexico studied the video. Some said it might be big white birds or some kind of heat wave mirage from the strong sun. But the trumpet sound, the way the two figures moved together so perfectly, and their clear, smart reactions are tough for science to explain. A lot of researchers just stayed quiet, admitting this was something strange that regular ideas about light or animals can't cover. This clip might bring to mind Matthew 18:10. See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven. That child angel feels like a reminder that God never leaves little ones unprotected, and the trumpet calls to mind Revelation 8:2. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and 7 trumpets were given to them, hinting at a holy message and heaven stepping into our world. These images don't just shock people, they make us wonder, what if we actually saw angels on the most normal day of our lives? That sudden visit on a Mexico City rooftop, with trumpet music and clever gestures, makes us stop and ask, could our everyday, ordinary moments be hiding signs of something supernatural that we've never noticed before? And from Mexico, the mystery keeps rolling right into New York, where a dazzling white light showed up smack in the middle of a shopping center, promising another amazing sight. Shall we keep going and see it together? Are you ready? 4. Glowing white figure in the shopping mall. Early morning on March 5th, 2020, one of the big malls in New York was almost empty. A security camera accidentally caught a glowing white figure floating in the air. It was bright, but not blinding, and it looked soft and graceful, like a fairy in a flowing dress, wrapped in a gentle, misty light. The white shape came down a little, then shot straight back up, as if it paused just to think about something. Anyone watching can't help but hold their breath. Doesn't your heart kind of jump with every move it makes? The speed and the smooth way it floated was way beyond anything normal, turning the whole moment into something truly mysterious. Light experts looked at the video and guessed it might be a reflection off glass or LED lights. But honestly, the brightness stayed steady. The human-like shape and the delicate movements left a lot of scientists quiet. They really couldn't come up with a solid answer. It makes you wonder, is this just light? Or maybe a message from something beyond our world? In the Bible, Psalm 34:7 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." A glowing white figure showing up right in the middle of a busy shopping mall feels like proof that angels can guard us even in public places, not just in our private moments. And Luke 2:9 tells us, "An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified." That shining glory matches exactly what we see in the video. Imagine you're walking through the mall and suddenly spot a strange light like that. What would you do? Stop dead in your tracks, stare in wonder, or sneak back for a better look? That feeling of awe and excitement is what makes this whole thing feel so alive and keeps us curious. This moment feels connected to the story from Mexico with the sweet trumpet sounds on the rooftop. Now, a bright white light in New York reminds us that angels aren't only in dreams or old fairy tales. They show up in everyday life, popping in without warning to let us know we're watched over and loved from above. And from here, the mysterious journey takes us to Brazil, where two angels fly freely across the sky, giving us another breathtaking sight. Are you ready to keep going? 5. Two angels spotted flying over the skies of Brazil. It was the afternoon of July 22nd, 2022, in Sao Paulo, and the sky felt strange. Half of it was bright golden sunshine, the other half dark gray clouds that looked like rain was coming any minute. From his window, a local guy happened to catch something unbelievable on video. Two glowing white figures with huge, pure white wings, bodies that didn't look quite human, flying freely above a massive bank of clouds. They were chasing each other, circling around in smooth, graceful moves that made it impossible to look away. It's one of those moments that's both beautiful and spooky, don't you think? The way those two beings moved against the colorful clouds felt like something straight out of a fairy tale or a Bible story. Yet it was real, caught on a phone. Every detail, the light bouncing off their wings, how high they were above the ground, made the whole thing feel almost unreal. The kind of thing science has a hard time explaining. Weather experts from the Climate Institute took a look and guessed they might be seagulls or some weird cloud shapes that just happened to look like people. But the way these things moved, so quick, so flexible, and clearly playing with each other, was way beyond anything a bird could do. Nobody came up with an answer that really fit, so a lot of scientists just stayed quiet and let the mystery be. Of course, the folks who study prophecy jumped right in and tied it to the Bible. It reminded them of Genesis 28-12, where Jacob dreams of a ladder reaching from earth to heaven, and the angels of God were going up and down on it. Then there's Daniel 7:10, that talks about thousands upon thousands serving him, and 10,000 times 10,000 standing before him. Pictures of countless angels always on the move between heaven and earth. Those two bright figures dancing in the clouds sure felt like that. Just picture yourself looking up that afternoon and seeing two graceful shapes gliding through the sunlight and clouds. What would you have done? Moments like this remind us the world is still full of wonders we can't quite wrap our heads around. And maybe heavenly beings are closer than we think, if we're paying attention. From here, the journey takes us to London, where a powerful dark figure shows up inside a parking garage, kicking off a whole different scene that's just as mysterious and dramatic. 6. A dark shadow flies through a parking garage. It was the evening of November 14th, 2012, in the parking garage of a shopping center in London. Something happened there that would make anybody jump. A man was bending down to open his trunk. Everything looked perfectly normal, until a black shape, like the shadow of a person, shot past at crazy speed. It shook the whole garage hard. The speed was unreal, and whatever it was seemed to mess with the air around it. The guy just froze, eyes wide open, too stunned to move. Can you even imagine how that must have felt? 1 second everything's ordinary, the next you're scared stiff. The whole thing lasted only a few seconds, but it stuck with people. Folks who saw the video watched it over and over, dozens of times. The lights, the darkness, the blur of that thing moving, it was dramatic and creepy, and nobody could really explain it. A seismologist from Cambridge University said maybe it was a strong gust of wind or a car going by nearby. But the shaking was only in that one spot. The speed was impossible, and the shape looked too much like a person. Most scientists just stayed quiet. There's still no good explanation, so it remains a mystery. Does this remind you of anything in the Bible? That dark figure brings to mind 2 Kings, 19:35. That night, the angel of the Lord went out and put to death 185,000 in the Assyrian camp. It shows how powerful and sudden an angel's action can be. And Acts 12:7 says, "Suddenly, an angel of the Lord appeared, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him up." It reminds us that God's messengers can show up out of nowhere, fast and strong. This garage event in London is a real contrast to the earlier clips. First, a white figure floating around a mall in New York, then two angels up in the sky over Brazil, and now this super fast black shadow, full of power. It makes you wonder, why are these things showing up? Are they protecting us, reminding us, or trying to warn us about something? Moments like this one remind you that the world still has plenty of things we can't explain, way more than what we see every day. A supernatural thing blasts through a parking garage, shakes the place, gone in a couple of seconds, but suddenly, the whole night feels alive. Who wouldn't watch it again and ask, what in the world just happened? From London, we'll head to Italy next, where an angel shows up and saves a grandfather and his grandson in a life or death moment. Another strange but miraculous event in the series. Are you ready? 7. An angel saves a grandpa and his grandson from danger. It was a chilly winter afternoon on January 3, 2025, in Milan, Italy. Out in front of a shop that was getting some work done upstairs, the little courtyard came alive with a grandpa and his little grandson playing around. Grandpa was helping the boy ride his scooter, both of them laughing and having a grand old time. Nobody noticed the loose brick hanging high above from the wall they were tearing down. Then, in the blink of an eye, that brick came crashing down. Fast. So fast that if you were watching, you and I wouldn't even have time to figure out what was happening, right? But just before it hit the ground, a dark figure shot forward at an unbelievable speed. That figure shoved the grandpa and the boy out of the way. The brick smashed into the ground and broke into pieces, not hurting a soul. I bet you wouldn't believe your own eyes. The speed, the perfect timing, the way that dark figure moved, it leaves science speechless. There's no normal explanation, and the video has been checked. No editing, no tricks. People keep watching it over and over, asking themselves, was that really a miracle? An angel showing up, looking like a regular person, protecting folks from danger, reminding us that God still steps in. Like Exodus 23:20 says, "See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and bring you to the place I have prepared." Or Daniel 6:22, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me." Same idea. Whether it's lions or falling bricks, he keeps us safe. That moment gives you goosebumps and wonder all at once. It makes you think, how many times in our own lives have we been saved and never even knew it? That dark figure flew in, moved like lightning, and left those two with nothing but safe smiles and wide-eyed shock. This clip from Milan wraps up the string of amazing things we've seen in 2025. The angels saving the girl in Los Angeles, angels flying over the skies of Rome, the cherubim blowing trumpets in Mexico, the white figure in New York, two angels in Brazil, and the dark shadow in London. Every single one mysterious, miraculous, and a reminder that this world is still full of things we can't explain. What do you think when you see stuff like this? These aren't just videos. They're gentle reminders that angels are always around, quietly watching over us, guiding us through every close call and surprise. We just watched something wondrous with our own eyes, and it sticks with you. So tell me, which moment hit you the hardest? Drop your answer down in the comments and let me and everybody else know. Now let's look back at 7 short videos where people caught angels on camera. Did you notice one special thing they all have in common? It's the years these things happened. They stretch from way back in the past all the way up to right now, from old, blurry cameras to today's sharp, high-definition ones. That tells us these wonderful moments aren't just random luck. They're proof that angels are still around all the time and that God never stops watching over us. We'll start in Los Angeles back in 2015. A young woman was crossing a busy street and almost got hit by a car when a dark figure flashed in, pushed her safely to the side in the blink of an eye. Psalm 91 to 11:1-2 says, "For he will give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. They will bear you up in their hands, so you don't strike your foot against a stone." That's exactly the kind of amazing protection we just saw. Next, Rome, in 1998. An angel wrapped in a scarf floated across a snowy winter sky, leaving tourists stunned. Hebrews 1:14 asks, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" That angel didn't just show up. It reminded every one of us how much God cares about each person. Then Mexico, 2018. A little child angel stood on a rooftop, playing a trumpet, and a woman with big white wings flew away fast the moment she saw the camera. Matthew 18:10 says, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." It shows angels are always watching over children, proof that God is keeping an eye on the smallest ones and stepping in when they need it. New York, 2020. A bright, glowing white figure appeared in the middle of a shopping mall, came down for a moment, then shot straight back up, like light pouring down from heaven. Psalm 34:7 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." It's a reminder that God is ready to protect us even in crowded public places, anytime, whether we notice or not. Brazil, 2022. Two angels danced across a sky that was half rain and half sunshine, playing on top of huge clouds. Genesis 28:12 talks about Jacob's dream. He had a dream in which he saw a ladder resting on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were going up and down on it. These angels were moving between heaven and earth just like that, showing how close and constant their work really is. London, 2012. A powerful dark shape flew through a parking garage so fast it shook the air and left a man standing there with his mouth open. 2 Kings 19:35 says, "That night the angel of the Lord went out and put to death 185,000 in the Assyrian camp." It shows the incredible strength and lightning-quick action of angels. No one can predict when or how they'll move. And finally, Milan this year, 2025. A grandfather and his grandson were saved from a falling brick when a dark figure rushed in and pulled them out of the way. Exodus 23:20 says, "See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared." It's a gentle reminder that angels go ahead of us to protect and guide us, no matter where we are or what year it is. When you put all 7 of these moments together, the message is crystal clear. God is still watching over us and keeping us safe every single day. Can you feel it? These aren't just rare miracles. They're gentle reminders that in a world full of danger, God and his army of angels never take their eyes off us. They're always ready to step in, protect, and lead the way. And the message keeps going. Live right, stay close to God, and keep your eyes open for the little signs around you. Because any ordinary moment, any word, any sudden event could be an angel right there with you. Looking back, from 1998 to 2025, from Rome to Milan, from Los Angeles to Brazil, these moments paint one long, beautiful picture of God's constant care, protection, and wonder. No matter how crazy life gets, we are never alone. Let that truth sink in and spread it around. Because God loves us so much, he still sends heaven's army down to quietly watch over us, anytime, any place. You see it, don't you? Even in the most ordinary second, a miracle can happen, and we're the ones being looked after. In the end, these 7 videos that accidentally caught angels on camera aren't just exciting stories. They're living reminders that God is right here with us every day. From the dark figure that saved a girl in Los Angeles, to an angel flying over the skies of Rome, the trumpet sounds in Mexico, the bright white shape in a New York mall, 2 angels chasing each other through the clouds in Brazil, the strong dark figure in London, and finally the one that saved a grandfather and his grandson from falling bricks in Milan. Every single moment shows something supernatural, showing up out of nowhere, stepping in, then vanishing just as fast, like a quiet nudge that God is watching over us and keeping us safe. These clips can make your heart pound and leave you feeling like you just saw something way beyond everyday life. Take a second and look around you right now. Do you notice the little signs we usually miss? A strange flash of light on the corner, a stranger doing something kind out of the blue, or that sudden feeling of safety when things could have gone wrong. Those could all be traces of angels, God's way of saying, you're not alone. When you watch the videos again, you can see the angels aren't just doing physical things. You can see with your eyes. There's a deeper spiritual message too. God uses his messengers to protect us, guide us, and remind us that something holy is all around. In today's world, where science tries to explain everything, these images still stay mysterious. The FBI and video experts have said the footage is real. NASA and light and lens specialists admit there are things they can't figure out. Yet the speed, the shapes, and the way these beings move still leave science speechless. It's a gentle reminder that sometimes all we can do is stand in awe and believe in miracles, because not everything fits inside our human understanding. Angels show up in ordinary places, with no warning, but always right on time, to protect, help, or remind us of the sacred that's easy to overlook. Like the Bible says in Psalm 91:11-1-2, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Every rescue, every lightning-fast move through the sky, every appearance just before danger in these 7 videos is living proof of that promise. Angels aren't just symbols, they're real. A reminder that God is always protecting those who trust him. Remember, Ezekiel 1:14. The creatures sped back and forth like flashes of lightning. Some moments in the videos show angels moving so fast and smooth that the human eye can barely keep up, leaving people both scared and amazed. The message is clear. God's power and help through his angels go way beyond anything physical or anything our minds can fully grasp, reminding us how great and mighty he really is. Look closely at the images from Mexico, with the little angel blowing a trumpet, or the 2 angels playing chase across the clouds in Brazil. Those moments aren't just beautiful to watch, they're full of spiritual meaning. They remind us that angels don't only protect, they also carry messages, give warnings, and guide people. Matthew 18:10 says, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." Every glance, every movement shows God's tender care, even for the smallest things in life. The things caught on camera in a New York mall or a London parking garage might seem strange or even scary at first, but the message is still crystal clear. Angels can show up anywhere, anytime, to protect and remind us. Acts 12:7 tells us, "Suddenly, an angel of the Lord appeared, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him up." That proves their appearances are always perfectly timed, quick, and exact, never by chance. The biggest thing we can take away from these 7 videos is a message about faith and gratitude. When we see angels show up, we ought to open our hearts and notice the miracles all around us. Living thankful, praying often, putting our trust in God, and letting him live in our hearts is the best way to say thank you for the protection we get every single day. An ordinary moment can turn into a miracle the second we recognize God's presence in it. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever felt protected for no clear reason? A close call you somehow avoided, help that came from a stranger out of nowhere, or peace that showed up in the middle of danger? Those could all be signs an angel was right there. Let those moments grow your faith, wake up your gratitude, and make you care more for the people around you. And don't forget, if these clips touch you and you want to pass the message along, go ahead and hit like, share, and subscribe. That way, you're not just keeping the faith for yourself, you're helping others see the miracles and quiet protection that God and His angels give us every day. Finally, keep your heart open to love, hope, and faith. Live in a way that honors the protection God gives you. Pray and feel His presence in every moment. Every kind act, every prayer, every glimpse of an angel is our way of staying connected to the heavenly world and spreading love and hope to everyone around us. Thank you for watching and taking the time to think about these amazing moments. Let faith, gratitude, and love light your path, and let those quiet angels keep watching over you and guiding you every single day.
No, my goodness. Mira, mira, bro.
That's because you have no idea.
In these chaotic times we're living in, with wars spreading everywhere, natural disasters hitting one after another, and people's morals going downhill fast, it feels like the sky itself is trying to send us urgent messages we can't ignore anymore. Strange things are showing up all over the world, lights and images nobody can really explain, that have millions of people looking up and getting chills at the mystery happening right in front of us. These aren't just random events. They seem like clear warnings that the gates of heaven are starting to open, getting ready for a great cleansing when God will judge sin and the Antichrist will appear. These things show up in all kinds of ways. Bright glowing holes in the night sky, cities faintly showing through the mist, balls of light dropping through the clouds, green beams shining down on mountaintops, human-like figures floating over the ocean, fireballs moving slowly across mountains, or three black objects forming a triangle just hanging there. Each one feels like a little window giving us a quick peek into heaven, where holy light, shapes of angels, and signs of judgment for sin flicker through the veil of our everyday world. These sights don't just make us curious. They're reminders that the time to get our hearts ready and turn back to God is getting close. Science might explain the surface of it, but the deeper meaning comes straight from the Bible, and the warnings there aren't something any of us can brush off. Today's video is going to walk you through each one of these events so you can see for yourself that these really are warnings from the Lord. Are you ready to look at this with me and see that heaven isn't far away anymore? It's opening right above our heads? We'll go through them one by one, nice and slow. And the first one is 1. A bright hole in the dark sky with fairy dust falling down. The first sign won't let you down. It's a video that looks like the gates of heaven opening up. On a bitter cold winter night in 2025, when the Alaska sky was pitch black, a strange glowing hole showed up high above. Thick gray clouds tried to hide it, but the light still shone through, soft and beautiful. Out of that hole came little clusters of light, like sparkling fairy dust drifting and spinning in the air. It felt like the whole sky was breathing, alive with some kind of holy power. Every now and then, red and gold flashes blinked inside it, making fuzzy shapes that looked almost like people moving across a crack in the sky. The whole thing lasted about 10 minutes, but every second made your heart beat faster and gave you chills, beautiful and scary and almost too amazing to believe. Folks up there were stunned. They grabbed their phones, filmed it, posted it online, and the videos spread like wildfire, reminding everybody that heaven might not be so far away after all. It felt like the door was swinging open right in front of us. Scientists say it was probably just the northern lights, aurora borealis, shining through a big gap in the clouds, caused by strong winds and charged particles from the sun. The falling light could have been meteors or reflections from ice crystals way up high, but none of that really explains the red and gold colors or those human-looking shapes moving around. It stays mysterious. This whole thing sure reminds you of what the Bible says about the heavens opening and angels coming down. In John 1:51, Jesus says, "You're going to see heaven open and the angels of God going up and down on the Son of Man." Those red and gold figures in the light feel like proof, angels getting ready for the great judgment that's coming to clean the sin off this earth. It left people spellbound and a little spooked at the same time. That wasn't just light. It felt like a message, a warning, A call to look up and pay attention, because things bigger than we can understand are happening right now. Alaska, usually so quiet and icy, turned into a doorway straight to heaven that night, where pure hearts could almost touch something holy, and the rest of us better start repenting. Every second, every speck of light falling down felt like a countdown. This wasn't just some weather show. Science and scripture are both pointing at the same thing. The gates of heaven are cracking open right over our heads. You might think it's fake, some fancy video edit, but it feels too real to me. And honestly, the next thing that happened will leave you even more amazed. 2. A mysterious building looming through the fog. This video was shot in London, England, on a morning when the fog was so thick you could barely see your hand in front of your face. It shows tall buildings appearing out of the mist, like a whole city floating up in the sky. Lights from the windows shine through the thin blue haze, twinkling in a way that feels strange and almost magical. At first, everything looks dreamy and unreal, like it just stepped out of somebody's sleep. But a few minutes later, as the fog starts to lift, the buildings come into sharp focus, and you can hardly tell what's real and what's not. The whole thing lasted about 15 minutes, but every second felt both exciting and a little scary. People on the street stopped dead in their tracks, pulled out their phones to film, eyes wide with wonder and a touch of fear. That mysterious light cutting through the fog made shapes nobody could quite explain. For a moment, their familiar old London turned into something else entirely, like a heavenly city peeking down from above, beautiful, but somehow warning you to keep your distance. Scientists say it was probably a Fata Morgana mirage, or maybe just gaps in the fog caused by the city's heat island, where warm air rising off the buildings bends the light and creates images that look solid but aren't really there. NASA has studied city fog too, and says light can get twisted and bounced around different layers of air, making tall, ghostly shapes appear. Still, science can't quite explain that spooky feeling that makes you swear you're seeing something beyond this world. The Bible talks about things like this too, about people wanting to reach the heavens with their own hands, and about God's warnings. Genesis 11:4 says, "They said, 'Come, let's build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens.'" But this was different. This wasn't man building anything. It felt like heaven itself was opening a door without any help from us, reminding us that one day every proud tower built in sin will come crashing down in the great cleansing. When I watched it, I felt both afraid and completely drawn in, like that ghostly city was a doorway straight into something holy. That light breaking through the fog wasn't just nature playing tricks. It felt like a message, a supernatural wake-up call, that the time to get our hearts ready and see heaven standing close is right now. And are you ready to accept it? Don't stop here, because the next thing coming up is going to leave you absolutely amazed and delighted by how mysterious it really is. 3. Golden light, dazzling and glorious, with strange glowing orbs falling from the clouds. Right after that mysterious building appeared in the sky, somewhere else out in the western United States, a regular guy caught something on his phone that blew up all over social media. A brilliant golden streak ripping through the quiet night sky, like an invisible hand was opening a giant gate up there. Nobody knew what the heck was going on, just that this light didn't look like anything they'd ever seen before. At the Grand Canyon, late one night in 2016, one guy's phone recorded the whole wild thing. Up in the sky, two huge clouds faced each other like massive cliffs, and right in the middle, a golden light started glowing, getting brighter and brighter, like some kind of holy power building up. Then, all of a sudden, a glowing ball dropped slow and steady from the top cloud, turning into a thick pillar of golden light that shot straight down and lit up the whole huge canyon. That ball didn't fall random. It moved like it knew exactly what it was doing. The golden light kept spreading, bouncing off the rock walls, making everything look like it was bathed in heaven's glow. Folks standing down below just stood there with their mouths open, speechless, because it felt like they were watching a bridge between earth and sky, something that shouldn't even exist, but there it was, right in front of them. Scientists were quick to say, Oh, it's probably ball lightning or crepuscular rays shining through the clouds. Basically a ball of plasma that shows up in rare storm conditions, like the royal